Welcome to the Optimal Strength Podcast, the show where we dive deep into the world of strength training, fitness, performance optimization, and sports overall. I am your host, strength coach Matt Reed, and I am thrilled to have you join me on this journey as I help you unlock your full potential. So if you're an athlete striving to reach new heights, a fitness enthusiast looking to maximize your gains, or simply someone passionate about leading a healthier lifestyle, then you're in the right place, because on my podcast, I'm going to bring you expert insights, inspirational stories, and practical tips to help you become the strongest and the healthiest version of yourself. I'll explore topics like strength and training techniques, nutritional strategies, recovery methods, and so much more, all aimed at one purpose: helping you achieve your goals. And of course, we'll chat with some of the brightest minds and most successful athletes in the industry to help uncover their secrets to success. So whether you're lifting weights, pushing limits on the field, or just eager to enhance your well-being, the Optimal Strength Podcast is your go-to source for all things strength and performance. So get ready to be inspired, motivated, and most importantly, equipped with the knowledge and tools you need to thrive. So without further ado, let's get started on your journey to optimal strength. And don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for our upcoming episodes. Now, let's dive into today's topic. How is everybody doing today? Welcome to episode 4 of the Optimal Strength Podcast. I'm just so excited for everybody to be here. And today, I am going to be talking about, let me make this very clear. I'm going to be discussing, how strength training can definitely help injury prevention. Also, I'm going to dive into the insane amount of lower body injuries in the NFL right now, or in football in general, and how I feel you can train to avoid those. And also, I'm going to touch on example exercises that have been proven to be bulletproof to help reduce injuries in any age level or any level of competition that we talk about. All right, so let me get right to it. So strength training properly can prevent injuries in a plethora of ways. So let me touch on properly. So you want to teach good form first. I know this is like beating a dead horse for a lot of people, but I see it so much among coaches, especially the youth level, that are improperly showing these young athletes how to do exercises. And when that happens, let's take an example of a barbell squat. You're having a 7-8-year-old barbell squat with the bar. That's 45 pounds if you're using an Olympic bar. And their skeletal structure probably cannot support that 45 pounds on their back. Not because they're weak, but because their body anatomically and mechanically is not equipped to do that movement yet. You have to train them without weights, get their ankle flexion right, you have their knees become more flexible, their hips become more flexible, the big one, the hip hinge, before you even add weights into the equation. And again, that's an example of how you can injure or become injured at a young age and not even know it. You could have a slight muscle tear, or you can have anything structurally to the knee or to your hip or to your lower back because your dad, uncle, cousin tried to have you go to the gym and have you lift heavy weights at a young age. Now, I am a supporter of younger athletes lifting weights, but in a controlled and proper environment. So let me make that very, very clear. I'm not saying have your 6-year-old running back do 10 sets of barbell squats, just a bar for 10 reps. No. I'm saying that as that athlete ages and progresses, you can add resistance to produce a neuromuscular response in their body so they can continuously grow and get better, whether it's for them to be stronger, whether them to jump higher, whether them to run faster, whatever the goal is. That's how you do it progressively, okay? And that is why training proper form helps prevent injury. And form should always be preached. And you're going to hear this on my podcast, on my social media. If you sign up for any webinars I do, or you're going to hear me say form is the first thing that we talk about. And with my experience of 10 plus years of coaching youth athletes, kids 6 to about 12, that are prepubescent, that bodies aren't that structurally sound because they're still little bitty kids, you want to make sure you are establishing proper form as the base foundation to reduce injuries going forward. I'll give you a prime example. I had a kid who I'm going to keep undisclosed for right now. A couple years ago, I was coaching the youth, and a kid was lifting with their, I believe, older sibling, and he was about 10, 11. And I advised him, hey, we're going to do workouts 3 times a week here on the field, a lot of bodyweight calisthenics. So, do not, lift with your brother. Like, I understand that's a cool thing and you like it, but do not do it, and do not go heavy if you choose to do it. Definitely disregarded what I said. The parents encouraged him to lift, and the kid end up I remember it was spraining his AC joint or rotator cuff. It was one of the two. And I remember him coming in a sling to practice the following week and saying, "Coach, you're right." And I was more infuriated because the kid was only 10, 11, and he ended up having an injury and I'm someone who has really, really messed up shoulders at almost 30 years old because of not listening to my parents and because of me trying to have ego lift. I will tell you the stories. Actually, my left shoulder, I separated it severely playing backyard football prior to my freshman year of high school. My dad explicitly said, do not play tackle football before 2-a-days. And what did I do about a month out? I separated my left shoulder. And it has never, ever, that's almost 15, 16 years ago, and it's never, ever healed correctly. I've trained around it, I've trained it up, but it's one of them things that because I didn't listen, I caught the repercussions of it. Then we go over to my right shoulder, which I was about a freshman in college. It was off-season weightlifting. I decided to do heavy lat pull-downs with improper form, leaning back, putting more pressure on my shoulder joint than I should have, rather than focus on the contraction in the muscle. So I felt a pop, and boom, sprained my AC joint, which that one over time has definitely gotten a lot better. Because when you sprain the AC joint, you rest it, you do proper physical therapy, it will definitely fix itself, I would say, quote unquote. But the left one, that one, whenever the seasons change and it gets really rainy or cold, I have an issue. My God, I am angry that day. Or if I'm training shoulders, I try to avoid heavy shoulder days. I try to avoid any overhead press that's heavy because I know my shoulder stability is not anywhere to where it used to be when I was younger. So that is definitely a point. But I had to share them stories so as people know that firsthand. When it comes to shoulders and training, I'm the guy you want to talk to because I learned a lesson the hard way. As my mama and grandma used to say, a hard head makes for a soft ass. That is a very true statement. All right, but as I digress, again, I preach form first, and form and good technique help prevent injuries. Now, I'm not saying you won't get hurt, but it will help prevent you from getting hurt way more than you just going in and doing it balls to the wall, renegade, and rogue. Having proper form and technique with any lift, any movement is the best way to go and can definitely help prevent injuries, especially for youth athletes. Keep that in mind. These are little kids whose body structurally cannot handle heavy weight or heavy resistance, especially if you're trying to get them to perform better. You want to make sure that they can perform in long durations throughout a season, not just a short period of time to look nice on Instagram or for YouTube. Remember that, coaches and parents. I want to make sure you understand that. Hey guys, before we dive deeper in our discussion today, I want to take a moment to share an exciting opportunity with you. Do you want to take your fitness journey to the next level and maximize your gains? I know I do. Trust me, that's what I've been searching for. Well, I have an amazing partner that I want to offer to you that can do just that. Meet MHS Supplements, your trusted source for premium, high-quality supplements designed to support your athletic performance and recovery. MHS Supplements offers a wide variety of products, from their hybrid pre-workout to recovery-boosting supplements, all backed by a vigorous source of quality standards. So whether you're an elite athlete or weekend warrior, MHS Supplements has something for you. And here's the best part, so I hope you're listening. You can get 10% off your next purchase. Simply use my code STRONG10 at checkout to enjoy this exclusive offer. So what are you sitting there waiting for? Go to mhssubs.com and use code STRONG10 at checkout to get 10% off. And I'm telling you, you're not going to regret hitting your full potential, becoming the best version of yourself, and being the strongest in the gym. You'll thank me later. Now, let's dive into the NFL and this injury problem. Honestly, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, whether it's a plethora of other stars that have torn ACLs, MCLs, PCLs, or Achilles injuries, like I specified, Aaron Rodgers. I honestly believe that I don't blame the turf. I put on turf my entire life, and I've been God willing and God blessed to not have a knee injury of any time. But I've also experienced knee injuries firsthand from my roommate in college. He tore his ACL in training camp our freshman year, and it was on turf. Mind you, I know what I just said, but it was definitely a gruesome thing to watch, just how some can change in the blink of an eye. And that's back in 2012. So it's way different now, the rehab and the surgical aspect. But I say that because I believe, honestly, it comes down to training and how these athletes are training and practicing throughout the week. I am a big proponent of that. I feel like if you're training properly, unilaterally, maximizing your body's ability to correct imbalances, to have more stability, you have more preventative maintenance on your body than you think you do. I know, for example, with me, my high school coach preached lunges. I hate lunges to this day because of it, but I'm also blessed because playing O-line that I did, I was cut a lot. When I pulled, people were at my knees, and I never had a knee injury. So I would definitely, and this can be an ignorant statement, I'll take the backlash from it, but I do believe there's a direct correlation in between me doing lunges for all that time to me not having a knee injury. Structurally, my body is built differently than most people. I have short legs, so people with longer limbs are a little bit more exposed. But at the same time, I do believe if you strengthen those tiny ligaments in the knees, which protect the ACL, the MCL, the PCL, the patella, you strengthen all those tendons, I do believe you'll have a better chance. Also, too, you have to understand that high-end athletes, professional athletes, their bodies are like Ferraris, and they're constantly going at a million miles an hour, especially during a long season like the NFL where it's 17 weeks. You add in the preseason, that's 20 weeks of football that you're doing. So recovery, I think, is essential at that point, but also I think body maintenance. So and the practices aren't as gruesome. They don't hit as much. They probably barely hit, from what I've told from some NFL guys I know. They barely hit during the week. With that all being said and taken into consideration, is that they need to have mandated some sort of body maintenance regimen, whether that's 2 workout sessions a week with their strength and conditioning coaches at the facility, focused on stability, focusing on nice crisp lateral movements in a controlled environment, focusing on having athletes train unilaterally to help imbalances in the body, especially with players with high injury backgrounds and histories. They definitely need to have some protocol for that. That's definitely my opinion, and I don't blame the turf or the fields in the NFL for that. I think it comes down to more of, honestly, it's fate. I mean, not fate in a good way, but it's randomized. I mean, if you cut the wrong way, if your foot gets stuck in that turf the wrong way, someone hits you, that's tragic, and man, it sucks so bad, and I hate seeing it. But at the end of the day, I don't think it is the field. I think if preventative maintenance is introduced, and these guys, I'm not going to say they don't work hard, so I'm not even going to utter that, but I say if these coaches and organizations mandate these players to do 2 to 3 training sessions a week that require them to focus on those areas, focusing on building a better structure, because as these athletes progress from high school through college to professional, they do play professional, you're going to notice a difference in the strength and conditioning aspect. In high school, there's still this weird adage of, we're going to make you break, and that's going to consider you in shape or stronger faster. It is dumb, a horrible ideology. I don't know why it's still around, but running gassers does not make better athletes. I'm sorry, it does not. It makes you tougher mentally for not quitting, but does not make you a better athlete. So that's probably the most grueling strength condition you'll get is high school. College is a lot more structured. There are going to be some of them grueling days, but more structured, focus on your performance. I respect a lot of college strength and conditioning coaches because their programs are nice and they have very good reasoning for why they program the way they do. And then we go to the professional level. A lot of strength and conditioning coaches in the NFL, honestly, they're there, to do their job. But most of the guys have private trainers. They have private coaches that they see outside of the season. So you really can't tell who's working on what, who's focused more on appearance, who's focused more on performance. So that's really where I feel like there's a disconnect. Oh, excuse me. Drink some of that agua real quick, that water. But not water, that water, you know what I'm saying? Oh, man, I digress. I got to chuckle a little bit to break up the monotony. But like I was saying, I don't think that it's the turf. I feel like athletes should prioritize preventive maintenance more. And I feel like they will see a difference in their performance and the injury prevention in the NFL. So I'll dive into some examples now of injury preventative exercises. Now, these are just personal picks that I do with a lot of my youth athletes and my high school athletes that I love to do and that I really, really, really believe in because I've seen the benefits of them personally and professionally. So I'm going to start off with a Bulgarian split squat. This is probably the unsung hero of modern football that a lot of people aren't using. And I understand the benefits of regular barbell back squat, regular barbell front squats. I understand it mechanically and performance-wise. I get it, okay? It's a compound movement, multi-joint. We're going to work big muscle groups together to deliver more force. Okay, great. However, the Bulgarian split squat, if you're trying to enhance an athlete's ability to go from point A to point B faster, the Bulgarian split squat, especially when they become to the advanced level where you can actually progressively overload that movement mechanically, you're going to see a drastic change, not only in their ability to run faster, to jump higher, in their lateral explosiveness, but also injury prevention is going to be a big thing too. Now, when I'm programming Bulgarian split squats or rear elevated foot squats, for those people who need a better term or layman's term, when I'm programming these, especially depending on the grade level. So, for example, when I was programming for Riverside High School this past summer, and we did these, I made sure the freshmen and sophomores were able to do body weight variations on boxes or holding light sandbags, and then the juniors, seniors actually were equipped with a barbell with elevated foot. So it just depends on the skill level too you want to incorporate into the program. I would honestly recommend with your younger athletes, keep it body weight based, focusing on them getting good depth and muscle contraction, and focus on the concentric movement more, about a 2 to 3 second emphasis on that so they can understand how to drive through contact. All right. And that is with the bodyweight variation or the sandbag variation or light dumbbells, your preference. Now, if you go to the more, I would say more advanced version with the barbell, you can load it up a little more. That one you want to really make sure it's low repetition. And I say this because I'm not saying you can't do volume, but it depends on where you program it. So I did ours first right after we finished our agility and speed stuff. So the lower body was already warm. It was already ready to go. They were already at that point where they could actually, produce a lot of force because their body was already at that point of activation, neuromuscular transmission, and they were able just to be like, all right, mentally, like, we can do this. So that's the biggest thing too. Again, as a strength coach, getting athletes to understand that they can do something physically that they've never done before is another part of the job, and that is a confidence thing and trust thing over time. So programming it anywhere from 5 reps by 5 for each leg. Now, that's a lot of volume there, but usually that is saved for, I usually do that about the middle of the program, just as we're starting to wind it down for the season, because we definitely want to see where the strength is at. So usually it's about 4 sets of 3 per leg with a moderate to heavy weight, focusing on, again, 2 to 3 second on the concentric, and have them drive up as fast as they can to produce more force. So that is a rear elevated foot squat, like that. Rear elevated foot squat example. Jesus, let me drink some water to that one. Good Lord. A rear elevated foot squat example of how that move in particular will prevent injury. Again, you're working your glutes, you're working your quads. your groin, your hip flexors. You're also working the ligaments in the knee, strengthening those. So again, coaches, you definitely want to add those. I love band pull-aparts. That has become a staple in my personal weight training program. So shout out to Coach Joe DeFranco. That's the OG New Jersey vet. You know, how you doing, man? That was my attempt at an accent. I'm sorry. Hopefully you don't find me. But he talked about in his podcast, and I've been doing it for the last couple of years. And that has helped not only my posture, but my upper body stability, my shoulder health. From, again, when I talked earlier, having bad shoulders, this has helped my shoulders tremendously by strengthening my posterior chain, strengthening my scapula, causing my shoulders to actually have a support system behind them, which is great. So band pull-aparts, coaches and athletes, start doing them right, and you're going to see a difference. Core strengthening is another one. I don't see why this is talked about in 2023, or isn't talked about as much, as I should say. It's core strengthening. Do not neglect the core. Strengthen the core. Not the fancy exercises you see on Instagram. I'm so tired of seeing these. But the planks, the side planks, the Russian twist, the old school exercises that have been around since the 1800s and so on and so forth, that do actually matter and actually program your core to be stable and support your body. I've known linemen, 300 pounds, with solid cores and can move like a damn cat out there. So I'm tired of the whole I want to have a six-pack and, I play D-line. Listen, man, if you're strong and stable, you will be an athlete. Don't worry. Also, then isometric focus. The reason I put this on my list, because isometrics help target an area and help strengthen that area through the focus and energy of the body. So again, this ties into the first one, the Bulgarian split squat. Now, if I wanted to flip it, and let's say we're going to do 3 sets, we're going to do a 10-second isometric hold for 2 reps, right, for each leg. That's 20 seconds total of under tension. However, we are focused on the concentric, holding that for about 10 seconds, trying to force a isometric workload on that particular area, strengthen them tendons even more, cause them to work and fire harder. Okay, so that's an example of isometric, help prevent injury. Same thing with a upper body. So let's go bench press, for example. Okay, if you want to strengthen the pectoral muscles, and let's say a kid has, when they do bench press, you can tell they're using their triceps and their delts, not using their chest. Using the isometric variation hold for them, whether it's a 6-second hold with a bar, forcing their chest to fire is a great way to help teach them. This is what we're activating. We're not just trying to drive up for just ego, okay? And then lastly, I want to cover is unilateral training. This is by far my flagship, and what I hang my hat on is unilateral based training. I'm a firm believer that athletes need to do unilateral training. You do compound movements, right? As soon as our neurological system is ready to go, cool. And then towards the end, you add unilateral based training. One of the most popular splits I've done is I do a bench press or a push press. Okay, we're going for strength. We're going low reps, high weight, and then then after that we go into Bulgarian split squats or reverse lunges. Okay, focusing on again. Each leg is a good rep. Each leg gets a good rep. Each leg, it's simple that way. Then we do single leg glute bridges as a superset right there. And, we're going to do some volume with that and with lower weight to focus on driving and hypertrophic response in the body, but also a stability portion to it, because if you're doing reps, whether it's just body weight, your body's going to have to respond and have to create more of a stable attribute in that area for it to actually increase and perform better. So again, unilateral training is just by far one of the best ways to help prevent injuries and to help promote proper form in strength training. So keep that in mind. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 4 of the Optimal Strength Podcast. Again, I am your host, Strength Coach Matt Reed, and I'm so excited to share this with you guys. And on top of that, I want to have an announcement that if you're looking to enhance your strength, boost your fitness, or just get overall coached by me, go check out my website, optimalstrengthtraining.com. I'll have it in the show notes for you too. It is your go-to destination for comprehensive, results-driven training programs that I have designed myself that will help you reach your full potential, whether it's building muscle, losing weight, or being the best athlete you can. I have those tools and methods for you. And also right now on my website, all my apparel and training programs are 10% off. So visit optimalstrengthtraining.com. Use code STRENGTH10 at checkout to get 10%. Also, Afterpay is now eligible on the website. So you can definitely take advantage, get your swag, also get your results going, and save money in the process. So again, thank you for tuning in. I will be back next week, same time, with more insights on strength training, performance, and just sports in general. So remember guys, stay strong, stay motivated, and also don't forget to visit optimalstrengthtraining.com. Take advantage of this incredible sale I have going. But until then, keep working towards being your strongest self, and thank you so much.